Yeah, I had my own topic to discuss.
What's that?
So, the National Institute of Standards and Technology has finally, I guess not finally, but they have decided to confirm names for the prefixes of 10 to the 27 and 10 to the 30 power.
Oh God.
So it's 10 to the minus 27 and minus 30 power.
Oh no.
I'm not upset though, because they didn't use hella.
Oh my gosh.
They did not use hella.
Oh my gosh.
No, I thought it would have been absolutely perfect. No, what did they decide to use? Quetta and Rana, or Rona, or something.
Those sound about right. Those sound more,
Awful, awful.
but those sound more on brand than hella. So now you can't just say one hellagram. You have to actually say one quetagram.
One Ronogram.
Oh, ronogram or whatever.
Ronogram. And that just doesn't even sound as good.
It doesn't.
One hologram sounds like a ginormous amount. One Ronogram sounds.
Why?
It's not even impactful.
What? So what was the why? Why did they decide to do this all of a sudden?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's just become more useful.
Are we really measuring things in that size? What is humanity measuring that we need a unit
Well, I
that
told
big?
you the Earth's mass is 6 telegrams. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's ronograms.
60 rod. Yeah, but like, why are we measuring magnitudes? Why are we measuring masses of Earth? That's my question.
No, I'm saying now you can express the mass of Earth without the use of a bunch of exponents.
textbooks, textbooks written next year. We'll have that included, and kids in the future will have to.
Yeah, yeah. You know that about the only silver lining to this whole mess is that there are four less things I need to remember. I think I only had a test on it once, and that was in chemistry. And I don't even think I had to know that high. I think we've had to know up to like Terra.
Now you have to know.
Because in chemistry, there's really no use to anything that large.
Yeah, Terra's.
I mean, you have terabytes.
Yeah, but that's not chemistry.
Yeah, but I mean,
What are you doing with gigagrams, anyways? What are we doing with teragrams? Like what? It's like the mass of a. No, teragram. I don't even know the reference for that.
what are they doing?
What? It's like the mass of the Earth's crust could maybe measure in teragrams.
I mean, I will say in electronics, we use pico a lot.
Oh, did you watch?
Picofarads
That reminds me. So if we're talking about units, did you watch Potassium's latest video?
on the one on how to measure a microgram or something.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see? Do you remember the unit they gave? It was even smaller than a picogram. It's even smaller.
What?
It was even smaller. They had a unit in there that was smaller than a pico.
I don't recall.
Oh,
I don't recall what you're talking about.
so he was
Well,
talking.
no, they could remember. They could measure down to a piconewton of force.
Well, no, they were able to measure smaller. There was one unit below that.
Femto?
I think it was femta. Yeah.
I don't know. I just recall them talking about piconewtons.
Well, yeah. But he was like, "Oh yeah, we can do that, but we can actually go smaller," which I thought was crazy.
Yeah,
That's insane.
you can measure the force of the laser pointer.
Yeah, a basic laser pointer too, yet to boot. That's crazy. Huh.
Yeah.
What do we even need to? So, like on the small scale, though, there's nothing that size to measure, anyways. So, like,
What do you mean picofarads?
no, 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 no. I'm talking back to the Ronda, the Rondagram. So whatever the small one was, the quinta, whatever the heck. There's something that small that needs to be measured anyways, because atoms are bigger and subatomic particles are smaller. Well, no, sorry, subatomic particles are bigger than that. So it's like anything. So like,
No, the mass of an electron is 10 to the negative 31.
oh, so now it's still like 1,000 rondas.
Mm,
Oh, sorry,
10.
no, sorry. It's still
10.
0.01. It's still 0.0001 rondas.
What? 10. One exponent change.
Oh,
Minus 10.
oh, I
10 to
didn't
the
know the
minus
ronda
10.
was 30.
I said 10 to the negative 27, 10 to the negative 30.
Oh, okay. And then the electron's what? 10 to the negative 31. You said.
Something like that.
So it's
Something like that.
point 0.1 ronda.
Yeah. No, I think it's quetta.
Okay, sorry. It's point 0.1 queso.
Quetto. I can't even pronounce it. See, this is the problem. I want something easy to pronounce. If I have to guess how to pronounce it, that's bad. I should not have to guess how to pronounce the name. It's too difficult.
That's why you got. That's why you gotta do That's why you gotta do the ones that I do, the joke ones. Well, it's point 0.1 queso.
What?
Well, if it's quetta, we'll just call it queso.
No,
What do you mean no?
I don't like it.
You don't want to call it What were you gonna call a small unit?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Oh my god.
Hello.
Point
Right?
one, hello. I don't want to call it point one.
A hellogram. What's wrong with the hellogram?
Well, I don't know what we'd use to measure that with.
What do you mean?
It still doesn't make sense because the electron's smaller and everything else is much larger.
No, the electron's bigger than the... No. The 10 to the negative 30, that's meaningless. We don't need that. The 10 to the minus 27 we could use.
Oh, right. Yeah, so why did they name 10 to the minus 30? That's useless. The electron's smaller than that, and everything else
I
is
think
bigger.
it could have an even number. Because you can't end on 24, right? No. You have to... Before they were ending on 21. No, wait. No, they did end on 24.
Ha!
Now they want to end up on 27. They're like 27. Let's go one more and end on 30.
Of course. Humanity's drive to be compulsive.
Mm-hmm.
We are coming up with completely useless units. It's not even like we could use it for, like, gravitons. Because gravitons are massless. It's useless.
You'll probably never need to use it, ever.
Nope.
I think I did read something that it could potentially be useful to talk about the amount of information in the weight of one bit of information. But it's like, when would I ever need to use that? And that's one number. As long as that's a measurement, because I imagine a bit would be the same, right? 1 bit for this is 1 bit for that is all 1 bit. I don't know how or why a bit would change mass.
Well,
depending on what a bit is of.
Maybe it'll be important when we finally move on from silicon and we use something else for transistors.
I don't know. But they did give some things that they're looking for in the names, which makes sense, but I still think Hella would have fit. Number one is the name should be simple and if possible, meaningful and memorable. I think Hella is very memorable and meaningful. Hella, very big. The name should have some connection to the power of 10 to the 3 that they represent.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 10 to the power of... Well, no, I guess what they're talking about is that... So if you look at the name...
Nuclear.
Rana, it comes from the Latin derived from annena in novum, suggesting 9 powers of 10 to the minus the 9th power of 10 to the 3rd. I don't know, I think they're a stretch. They don't even really fit, so mine doesn't even have to fit. The third one should be Latin or Greek. I'm sure Hell could be Latin or Greek. Multiples should end in A and O. Yep, absolutely. Hello, Hella. Same letter for power of 10 in uppercase for multiples and in lowercase for submultiples. Letters already in use for SI prefixes. See, the only problem with this is that there already is a capital H, and that's Henry.
What the hell is a Henry?
What?
What the hell is a Henry?
It's how you measure inductance. And then...
Wait, hold on. Is that a combination unit? Or is that its own unit?
What do you mean, its own unit?
So, like, grams is a base unit. Well, even grams isn't even a base unit anymore. It has to be...
No, so there's only 7 base units. The 7 base units are kilograms, seconds, meters, mole, ampere, candela, and did I say Kelvin?
No.
That's it.
Okay, so
Those
Henry
7.
is not. I was going to say. Actually,
You
is
need some
kilogram...
kind of...
Can kilogram even be counted as a base unit?
Why not?
Because it has to be... Because, like, kilogram is derived from energy.
What?
Because the modern definition of kilogram is based off of the definition for what a second and a meter is.
It is. But before it just used to be like a hunk of mass.
Right. So before it was a base unit, but now can it still be counted as a base unit?
We still call it a base unit, yes.
Even though technically it shouldn't be, because it should technically be whatever watts per joule, whatever.
I don't tell the General Conference of Weight and Measures how to do their business.
I'm going to tell them how to do their business. Damn it! They got to keep things.
I'm forced to obey their rules. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I gotta mention the fusion thing again because it popped up. I saw something in my recommendation, and I clicked on it, and then I saw something else in that recommendation, so I clicked on it, all on YouTube, and Real Engineering uploaded a video about fusion 2 days ago, and so it's like. Somebody had to know, right? Like I was reading these comments. This person's like, damn, this is a really impressive thing. This video clearly took a long time to make, and you managed to release it right on the heels of the major fusion announcement. Props, man. Somebody commented then, is it luck though? Clea Abram also released a fusion video today. Suspicious. That's what I'm saying. They had to have known. Real Engineering though, this was 2 days ago, which his might have just been like, oh shoot, he uploaded it at just the wrong time, 2 days early. But oh man, that's crazy. What are the odds? What are the odds? Like, you uploaded it 2 days ago, probably didn't even think about it, he's answering comments, and then the fusion announcement yesterday and today, and he's just like, oh, well, gee.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, Yeah, but to go back to what I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
technically, if you want at the base level, the two most basic units that do not depend on anything that you have to purely define by themselves are the second and the mole. That's it. Because the second is used to define the meter.
Right.
And then you use the second and the meter to define the kilogram.
Right.
The ampere is defined using the second. The temperature, Kelvin. Kelvin is used defining the meter, second, and kilogram.
Oh, that's
Candela,
right. Kelvin is because Kelvin is average kinetic energy. So therefore it'd be measuring, well, it's kinetic energy. So those units.
Candela is defined using meter, second, and kilogram.
Dun 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 dun.
So second and mole are the two most basic units that are not defined using anything. Technically now all the units are defined using constants. However, those constants are defined using the units I just discussed earlier. So second and mole are really the two basic units.
Which is crazy. And a mole. I love the mole. The mole's the most just arbitrary thing. Just some guy was like, carbon 12. 12 grams of carbon 12. The number of atoms in that is going to be... How did he ever... How did Avogadro come to this conclusion? I've always wondered this.
I read about it and I forgot.
Oh. I know it was about carbon 12, but and obviously it makes sense that we need the mole. It's very useful in chemistry and calculating things, but how does one come up with this such an arbitrary number? It's a massive number too. It's not like it's small. It's a big number.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's so random. Oh, man. Anyways, so, yeah, freaking units, man. But I love in the potassium video.
This says, I don't think he found his number.
Oh.
I think he proposed it. So it says the first rough estimate of the estimate came from courtesy of Robert Millikan. And Millikan is the guy who did the oil drop experiment to find the charge of an electron. But Avogadro is from like the 1800s, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Like he's an old white dude. Old dead white dude.
They're mostly old dead white dudes.
I know, it's kind of sad, right? Like all the greatest scientists, Hawking and Peter Higgs, are like the last great scientists that are gone in Feynman. Like the last greatest scientists that are gone to time.
Well, yeah, I mean...
From the recent era.
Well, yeah.
I don't know who is out there right now that's well known.
Well, yeah, no, but that's just because their discoveries or contributions to science haven't yielded anything significant yet.
Yeah. All the scientists out right now have not done anything significant yet.
I'm sure whoever was leading the team...
But it's kind of sad, though.
Well, I mean, it is sad. Well, that's not
sad. No one has done anything great, because everything has been experimental.
Well, yeah, yes, but it also...
I don't know the last great theoretical work that has been published that we have discussed. Imagine, when the idea of relativity was proposed, that was worldwide news. Everyone probably knew about this. What? What is crazy Einstein talking about now? Well, we can travel between the universe.
The next thing is whatever. So I mean, the next one will be whoever discovers dark matter.
Yeah.
Whoever figures out
Dark matter's old, though. That's the thing, though. It'll be an experimental discovery.
Well, yeah.
Dark matter's still an old theoretical work.
Right.
It's not recent. My point is, what is the most recent theoretical breakthrough? Not experimental breakthrough.
Well, nothing, because
theoretical breakthrough.
Well, no one's been able to prove. We have to prove it. We've had lots of theories, but all of them require like 80 different freaking dimensions.
That's my point, though. Proving is experimental. What's something new?
There isn't anything new because
exactly that's my point.
We have gotten to the point where, like we've talked about this before, we've gotten to the point where humanity has gotten to the point where unless we engineer a way to discover these things, we're at the limit of our knowledge.
Einstein wasn't.
Huh?
Einstein wasn't. They were just running with shit. Newton was just putting paper and paper out after paper. He didn't have any way to test his theories.
Well, yeah.
Einstein did the same. Einstein just kept pushing paper after paper after paper. No way to test it until years later.
When did people realize that Einstein's because everybody thought Einstein was wrong.
It wasn't until the 90s.
Huh?
It wasn't until the 90s that people came to a general consensus that general relativity is true.
Right. So it took years. So it's very.
And my point is that theory had already existed. What is the newest theory that's 100 years ahead of its time? Nothing.
That we know of? We don't know. We don't know.
That's what I want to know. Why is this not mainstream? I want to know of something huge that people are discussing that we have yet to come up with an experiment for.
No one's discussed that with. Well, no. Well, think about Einstein. No one discussed. Did people actually discuss relativity? No. Like it's whatever's now. No one. It's the same as relativity was then. We won't know.
No, because people are going out on crazy expedition to try and prove it. Like the whole solar eclipse thing in 1919. That was a huge discovery.
All right, so okay. Yeah, but like they knew how to engineer a way into it, though. That's the thing. They knew how to prove it with engineering. They knew. They were like, oh, yeah, okay, to test this, we can do this exact experiment. You know, can gravitons do gravitons actually exist? Well, I mean, we don't know. I mean, we can probably discover them. We just need an accelerator that's going to cost $250 billion. And it's got to be big, very big. And it's got to contain cutting-edge technologies. Things that don't even exist yet. Some guy in China right now working in one of their labs is going to discover it tomorrow.
Yeah, it was in 1919. So prior to 1919, Albert Einstein was virtually unknown beyond the world of professional physicists. By the year's end, he was a household name. It was November 1919 was the month that made Einstein into Einstein. And it was partly because I believe that same year of the solar eclipse that proved his first theory, he also won a Nobel Prize that year.
Well, yeah,
for the photoelectric effect.
But, yeah, that was for photoelectric effect.
Yeah.
RIP.
There's been nothing, though, that's mainstream that I know about.
Well, yeah, that's because we haven't proved anything. The CERN super collider's been offline for years. You know? No, you know what the last one was? You know what the last one was? The Higgs boson.
That's what I said, Peter Higgs.
Oh, I didn't hear Higgs.
Peter Higgs is old.
Well, yeah, it took a while. Yeah. You realize how long it takes to build super colliders? I mean, by
but my
chance.
point is, what's something new though? What's a new theory and within the 21st century that we will not prove till for 70 years?
Probably anything. Probably anything according. So the hairy black holes thing, like that. Actually, that might even be 70 years. That might be never. Actually, it's more than likely never. Hawking radiation, we haven't been able to prove it. It might be 70 years before we detect it, if we ever do.
My point is that's not the 21st century. Like, I want something that we don't like dark matter. We already know, we have already heard of the name. Like, I want something that has its own name, like the most unique thing ever that we have not been able, that we will not prove for 70 years. Something that is not research that has not been done prior to the 21st century.
Well, I haven't been reading a physics paper now. Now, have you?
I've read a few.
Recent ones?
No, not recent.
Well, see, there's the issue. I'm sure if we were reading recent theoretical physics papers, maybe we'd actually be like, oh, maybe this will be discovered in 70 years. And the thing about the Higgs is, though, we could have discovered the Higgs in the previous century had the U.S. government not decided to not fund the Texas Super Collider. The Superconducting Super Collider. That's what it was called. Superconducting. The SCS. Superconducting Super Collider. The SCSC. Had we actually built the SCSC, it's very possible we would have discovered the Higgs boson in the previous century. Or, I guess, the wrong Higgs boson.
Yeah, that's the truth they don't tell you.
That's the thing. We don't know. The thing is, right, CERN discovered the wrong Higgs.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know what the SCSC would have discovered. It could have discovered probably not discovered the correct one because, well, this incorrect one kind of breaks all.
Because the thing is, I think I told you how the Higgs that they discovered.
It's the wrong mass.
If this is the mass of the Higgs, it destroys the standard model.
RIP.
I don't know why my professor went in to discuss that. I wrote down a few notes in my notebook somewhere. But he went into a few things, how if this is the mass of the Higgs, it destroys the standard model.
Well,
we hope there's a second Higgs out there to prove the standard model.
But why are there two Higgs?
The standard model will be torn to shreds if this is the mass of the Higgs.
But the question is, why are there two Higgs?
Exactly. There's the other question. Why two Higgs? Why two Higgs?
What is a Higgs? That's a different discussion for a different day. That's a different discussion for a different day. Anyways, unless there's something else to say, I think we've reached the end of the podcast here. What an exciting one. We've cracked fusion. We came up with new, completely useless measurements. And, and we've discovered humanity, is stuck physics-wise. I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcasts every Friday, 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Central Time, and good night.